Nintendo's been weird this year, but Mario's the man. They made sure despite the pandemic, despite the insanity, despite the chaos, they put this trifecta out, and everybody ate it up. Chomped this thing straight to the top of the sales charts, but there's one oddity that nobody still can explain. Why is it limited? Yes, the Mario 3D All-Stars collection goes poof, straight into Bowser's belly in March when it's no longer available for sale, and that's confounded everyone. Let me know your theory in the comments down below, and if you agree with the interesting information I'm about to tell you, and smash that like button if you are pumped that Nintendo didn't sit out the entire fall. They still got Pikmin and Hyrule Warriors, so I am smitten. But we've got this interesting anecdote from NPD's Matt Piscatella. This guy knows a lot about games. He covers the industry at a very in-depth and numerical level, and he says, I don't think these games will disappear, like what would happen with the old school Disney Vault, but I think there may be additional flexibility in buying options. For example, a la carte purchasing options on eShop. Now, this is something that we've suspected for quite a while, so it's not like it's brand spanking a new theory, but it's good to hear people in powerful places saying that's what they believe Nintendo will do, and I'm in agreement. I think come March, you're going to be able to buy these guys separately, a la carte. And Matt Piscatella goes on to say that he thinks this will encourage Nintendo to put more classic titles out in this way, which is awesome, but sort of bad because they really didn't do much to make these even remasters. They just kind of stretched some and converted some, and that's it. So I feel iffy on that. It's like a seesaw. I love the old, but I really like the new. Can you do it better? But nostalgia is important too. Today I'm bringing you 10 other games I wish Nintendo would sell a la carte on the eShop. These are games that I love. They can't be too recent because that's going to basically convert them into a Wii U port for a full 60. But I'm talking games Nintendo could drop for 20 bucks on the eShop and we would all enjoy. So let me know what you think of my list. Let's get straight to it. The first one is the obvious. It's the freaking galaxy in the room, the planetoid that has pushed us into, Why wasn't Galaxy 2 included in the 3D All-Stars collection? Does a collection have to be 3 games? Nobody said that's the rule. Nobody. Not even Shigemoto himself. Not even the legendary Sakurai. No. You can put as many games as you want in a collection, so it's odd that Nintendo decided to not include this. Now, I believe that they wanted to put one major Mario title from each generation into their package and deliver that as their 35th anniversary special. But I still think that Galaxy 2 does get a release date. There is too much hype around this title, too much enthusiasm, and honestly, too much quality to sit it out. Plus, I think Galaxy is secretly the shining star, quite literally, of the Mario 3D All-Stars collection, and I think Nintendo knows it. The game looks and plays beautifully on the Switch, and it's almost good enough to be considered a full Mario title. So if Nintendo uses a lull in their 2021 calendar to drop Mario Galaxy 2 on the eShop, that's a win for fans, and it's a win for Nintendo's pocketbooks. I just hope that when they do put these titles out separately, they don't go too greedy in terms of the total price. I don't think we're going to see the Virtual Console prices as we probably should for a game like Mario 64, but I definitely think we'll be getting our money's worth if they're able to put Galaxy 2 out for 20 big ones. You know what else would look great on your Switch? How about a little GameCube love? We can dream about Nintendo adding more consoles to their online offerings, but they didn't do it this year. I don't know when they will next. Double Dash would be fan-freaking-tastic. I'm a massive Mario Kart Mania master. 8 Deluxe is my favorite Nintendo game of the decade, and so this title is special. It's different enough from the current offering that it wouldn't steal any of the spotlight, and I think it's a fan favorite for those of us old enough to remember playing this with our siblings and our friends. Teaming up in Double Dash action is legendary, and even if you're relegated to the item thrower, it's still a super good time. Tag team action between Donkey Kong and Birdo, Baby Mario and Bowser is so much fun, and I'd love to see this game get a return. There's talk that maybe Mario Kart 9 would bring back the Double Dash action, but honestly, I hope that's not the case. I just want to relive the glory in its original form, and I so would pay 20 bucks to play this. Plus, Nintendo has been champs at adding online multiplayer to their old titles. Imagine duking out an MKDD online. Every morsel of info indicates that Metroid Prime 4 is far, far away. I mean, I think we'll be lucky if this game releases during the Switch lifecycle. Perhaps we're going to have a Switch Pro before this thing even comes out. So I'd love to see the resurrection of Metroid Prime 3 Corruption on the Switch. A lot of people are hoping for the trilogy, but where the heck is it? The rumor mongers and the leakers say that the game is ready and Nintendo is waiting to launch, but at this point, is that even true? In the meantime, I'd love to see this game get a separate re-release, primarily because it's the one I played the least of upon its release. I love Metroid Prime and Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, 3 Corruption, I think it has a lot going for it. I feel like it was maybe the least loved of the trilogy. Perhaps it was because of the motion control, but I'd love to see this game get a second chance on the Switch, and something cool Metroid and 3D Metroid and first-person puzzle-solving shooter Metroid would be fantastic. Still fingers crossed for that 2D resurrection of the franchise coming in 2021 that we heard rumored this year, but at this point, rumors have been so chaotic, I don't know what to trust. But I do know that I would buy this one if they sold it separately. The promise of the Switch is that it unifies Nintendo's platforms. It takes handheld and home console and makes them one. So why not bring something from the portable era of Zelda, The Legend of Zelda Minish Cap, re-released on Nintendo Switch? I mean, I'd love to see a collection of old Zeldas. In fact, I think we're going to get one, but of the 3D variety in 2021 for Zelda's anniversary. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something that did bring back Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, maybe even Skyward Sword, Twilight Princess, or Wind Waker in some capacity, or heck, maybe give us all of them. But I have a special spot in my heart for Minish Cap. I love the big small mechanic, and I think this Capcom joint is actually one of the best experiences that Link had in his top-down tunic form. It's not the favorite of the franchise for most players, but little itty-bitty Link is so adorable, and I feel like this game never gets enough love. It would be perfect, even at the price of $20. That might sound like a lot for a Game Boy Advance title, but will Nintendo ever deliver a Virtual Console-esque lineup from the GBA? I don't know. It would make a lot of sense. The Switch would be perfect for it, but it took them forever to even get some of the big hitters on SNES, so we might be waiting years for this game to actually hit the online service. Just sell it to us separately. Why not? I love the art style, the aesthetic, the vibrant colors, even the unique villain, and especially the ability to go from big to small. So Minish Cap, it's a Zelda that has it all. Paper Mario has been through a lot of iterations, and as time rolls on, I feel like people just still are sad that we don't have the original iteration of what Paper Mario began as. But there's a franchise that is now unfortunately defunct that Nintendo did double down on the RPG mechanics that those OG fans of Paper Mario love, and it's Mario and Luigi. Yes, Alpha Dream may be no more, but I'd love to see Bowser's Inside Story hit the Switch. This was my favorite one. It is a great game, and you get to go inside the King Koopa. I love the battles, I love the bosses, the humor, the charm, the overworld, and everything in between, including the emphasis on Mr. Bowser. There's some great moments in this game. I played this start to finish so fast. I actually wrote a review back in the day when I was small boy Zach trying to break into the industry, and I think this would be a stellar title for Switch. They re-released it on 3DS, so maybe it's not a candidate, but what's stopping Nintendo from re-releasing stuff? They do it all the time. In fact, they charge more money for their re-releases than their originals, but I'd pay $20 for this in the eShop, and I bet you would as well. The Holy Grail. The title that we've wanted here on SwitchForce since day freaking one. Before day one. Since day -50, before the Switch came out. Mario Strikers is criminally underrated, and I really wish that they would work to bring it back. There's a tease in Luigi's Mansion 3, so I don't think all hope is lost. But Mario and Soccer, it's a special pairing, and the characters, as well as their more aggressive personalities and outfits, made me smile back in the Wii era. I love this game a lot. I love the GameCube iteration. Bring one of them over to the Switch. If you can't do a new version, if Next Level is too backed up, if this doesn't seem like the right time for Mario Sports to make an appearance, because I genuinely think Nintendo is going to go golf before they go Strikers, give us the old game on the eShop with online play, some touched up graphics. I mean, Nintendo has unlocked the treasure trove, right? By how well Galaxy looks on Switch, Nintendo knows with a slight tweak, they can make this era of game look pretty darn pro on the Switch. So why not deliver one of the most fun multiplayer experiences Nintendo has ever made? Yes, I said it. This game is an absolute ball. Even with the strange goal mechanics where you fire 6, 7, 8 balls at the Kremlin over and over again, I still think this game is fantastic, and everybody, at least in my circles, would love to play it again. So bring it back, Nintendo. Bring it the heck back. This one feels like a bit of a cop-out, because I think we kind of know it's gonna come soon enough. Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword starts off super slow, but it still has some fun mechanics, and even though it's not the best in the franchise, it feels like it's the next up for Nintendo to remaster. Now, whether they go all the way and actually do this one justice, or they just make a graphical tweak, I wanted to include it because it makes a lot of sense. If Nintendo does not want to devote a full retail release to Skyward Sword, which they probably almost assuredly will, they could release it on the eShop, and I would buy it. In fact, I'd probably pay a link tax for this game. $30 to have Skyward Sword on your Switch with Titan graphics would be kind of fun. It's a game that I explored not all too thoroughly because it just, I don't know, it never caught me. And I don't think it really caught that many players. I think it starts off, like I said, incredibly plotting, and then the path forward just doesn't seem to have as much of an oomph as other Zeldas. But there are still great moments, and I think it would do good to give this game a second chance. Not sure exactly how you work out the motion control, and I will say that the Galaxy implementation is a bit cumbersome, but it does work, and I trust Nintendo. Or they could just erase it entirely and find a way to convert it to a button layout. But Skyward Sword has probably seen the light of day again soon, so I wanted to include it, and yes, I would pay for it a la carte, absolutely. Many of you probably don't even know what the heck I'm about to show you, but Excitebots Trick Racing is awesome. This game is a fantastic racer, and because Mario Kart eats up the entire space of arcade racing goodness for families and friends, nothing else really gets a chance to shine. But back in the day, in the early Wii era, Excitebots, despite its very lackluster lack of personality, was a really fun racer. You're these bug cars that can transform, do tricks, and race on some really good courses. And the controls actually perform quite well, and if Nintendo were to tighten this up, eliminate the Wii wheel, and just make it a more traditional racer on Switch, I think it would do super well. It probably tilts a little younger, but that's kind of where Mario Kart exists as well, and it's a lot of fun. In fact, I'd love to see this game get a sequel if we're not going to get Mario Kart 9. Just a few more to go, and Punch-Out is the one that we're now going to show. This game I loved on Wii, but I think this is the perfect example of a title that would do amazing at $20 or $30, and not so well nowadays at $60. Now, believe you me, if Nintendo ever does re-release or release another Punch-Out title, they probably will charge a $60 price point if it's, brand new or adding features. But if they're just going to doll up this one slightly, they could drop it for a lower price, and it would be totally worth it. I think that the motion controls made this game, so maybe it's not the best fit for Switch, but Lil Mac went ham in this entry, and I enjoyed it so thoroughly, I wanted to give it a mention. You can grab Super Punch-Out and Punch-Out on the NES, SNES online service, but the eShop deserves a little bit of Lil Mac as well, so why not bring it over, Nintendo? I would definitely buy. The last title of the day is kind of a surprise. Super Mario 3D Land, why would we have this when we are about to get Super Mario 3D World? Well, that's just the reason. I think Super Mario 3D World is starting to become much more appreciated for how awesome and incredible that game is. Combining the linearity and tightness and polish of the 2D Marios with the explorative elements and creativity of 3D Marios, it's one of the best games Nintendo has ever released. And you're going to get to play it on Switch in 2021, early 2021. But Mario 3D Land was what gave Nintendo the inspiration and ideas to even create 3D World, so I feel like this game deserves some shine as well. And in my opinion, this one is even less appreciated than its Wii U counterpart. Now, it's not as exciting, and it doesn't have the cats, and it doesn't have the multiplayer, but 3D Land still has some really great levels, and it's quite possibly my favorite 3DS game. So I'd love to see this re-released on Switch, taking things from the handheld consoles and putting them onto the Switch console just makes a lot of sense because you can play that portably. This would be like a home run for a Switch Lite owner, and honestly a great time for any Switch owner. If they could make the visuals look as good as Galaxy, I would be absolutely ecstatic. And I'd love to experience a little more of this style of Nintendo's game design. So bring it over. I'm buying. There you have it, my friends, 10 Nintendo titles, the top ones. I'd love to see them sell a la carte. If you've held off on 3D All-Stars, would you buy one of the Mario games for, say, $20 on the eShop in March? Or which of my lists would you absolutely have to pick up if Nintendo decided to push it forward on their downloadable service? Let me know in the comments down below, everybody. Make sure to smash that like button if you enjoyed that video and are excited for more of this kind of goodness. There is some risk with Nintendo not doing a bunch, but still, it's a bunch of games that do deserve some shine, quite literally with sunshine, and I hope we at least get Galaxy 2 in this fashion. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Fantastic rest of your day. I love you a lot. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay smart out there. And until next time, everybody, SwitchForce out.